Good day, learners. You are welcome to another study session. This is study session 9, Records Management and Entrepreneurship. Record Management and Entrepreneurship. In the previous session, study session 8, we have considered much about financial planning and management. We have seen the various sources of finance for an organization or a would-be entrepreneur. We've also considered the application of such funds, the various records that will be used, very useful for the entrepreneur, how to approach banks to secure loans, and the documents and records, those things those people will want to see. We also see what has been the problem or hindrances to their ability to obtain loans and how they can get themselves prepared to secure loans from the financial institutions. Now we are looking at records management, not only in terms of financial records, but records management generally, including other areas of record keeping, which should be of benefit to the entrepreneur. And on completion of this study session, should be able to explain the need for records management in entrepreneurship and should be able to discuss the various types of records essential for an entrepreneur to keep. Let's start with the need for records management in entrepreneurship. The maintenance of good record keeping system is essential to all organizations because it helps to guide the organization in the future. It assists in fulfilling statutory obligations. It also provides evidence of transactions. Record system also establish permanent record of the inputs and outputs of the organization, and records are also needed for purely internal matters like personnel details, staff training. Minutes of meetings are very useful and essential. Now let's look at the types of entrepreneurial records. The first one we want to look at is the correspondence records management. This includes records of various letters sent to the entrepreneur or received by the entrepreneur. They must be kept, and this is done through various methods and systems of filing. Filing is the storing of letters and documents in a systematic way so that they can be easily retrieved at a later date for reference purposes. So filing system is a device whereby documents are safely and methodically preserved so that they can be quickly and easily referred to. What are the qualities of a good filing system? A good filing system must be simple, it must have appropriate classification, must be easily accessible, it must be economical, it must ensure speedy retrieval, and should be elastic, that is, should be capable of expansion as at when due. There are various methods of classification of filing which are commonly used in organizations today. We have alphabetical classification that refers to the filing of documents according to the first alphabet of the name of that document. We also have numerical classification. That method allows documents to be arranged in order of number. That is, each document or folder is given a number and filed in a serial number order. We also have subject classification. That's a method where documents are arranged and filed according to the subject matter. There is also what we call geographical classification, where documents are arranged in alphabetical order but according to geographical location. There is also the chronological classification, and as the name sounds, that method allows documents to be arranged according to the date on such documents. There are also various methods of storage. Four principal ways of storing files we want to consider include vertical, lateral, horizontal, and circular storage. Now, in the case of vertical storage, Document folders or files are placed one behind the other, usually in a cabinet or drawer fitted with suspense pockets. The lateral storage is a situation where document folders are lined up side by side, just as we have in a library arrangement. But in the case of horizontal storage, large-scale items like maps or plans are laid flat, one on top of the other in drawers. Then finally we have the circular storage. That's a situation where papers are placed in book type folders and organized in a circular arrangement on layers of shelves which rotate for ease of location. Sometimes when we go to bookstores, we see something similar to that. Now let's talk about file indexing. File indexing is a method needed to locate a particular file. An index, just like we talk about the index finger, points the way to the location of more detailed information about a particular file. There is the need for an entrepreneur to establish a filing routine. We should remember that one of the prerequisites for the entrepreneur to do his filing regularly is that he should not allow this filing issue to accumulate. So in order to make that possible, he should check the necessary papers that are ready for filing and put these papers in suitable trays or baskets. Then there is the need to classify and index the documents and files as appropriate. After this has been done, the documents should be arranged in the order in which they are to be filed. Then you finally insert the documents in the correct place in the folder and keep the folder appropriately in the storage system. Nowadays we have electronic storage systems. The introduction of computer word processors has given us another option to manage our records electronically. Storing information on the computer, we can look at it from different angles. The first one is the short-term storage, and that is when information is held only in the memory of the central processing unit of a computer, that's the CPU. But then we can also have scanning devices, and these devices are in two basic method forms. We have the MICR, that's a MICR, magnetic ink character reader. That's a scanning device that's able to pick up figures and other symbols printed in a specific style. We also have the OCR, the optical character reader. This one can scan printed and typed works and convert them to digital form, which can be edited and stored. We can also establish a database, that is, you store information on computer where they can be accessed. The VDU is one of the components, that's the visual display unit, which shows information on the screen for you to see. Then the printer is a component that is used to produce hard copy of the information that has been stored. Let's look at some things about a stock records management. Whether you are talking of records of stock of raw materials or finished goods or even administrative consumables, records of stock must be taken seriously for effective control by the entrepreneurs or its agents in order to avoid dangers of overstocking and understocking. So there are certain stock levels that should be monitored from time to time. You have the maximum stock level. That is the maximum quantity of a material that may be kept in stock. It is essentially an uppermost limit that the buyer must ensure is not exceeded. Then we also have the minimum stock level. The minimum stock level is the lowest level to which stocks should fall. It's a buffer stock that will not normally be touched so that you don't run into problems. Then we should also monitor the reorder level. The reorder level is the level at which a purchase requisition is made out, so that you don't wait till the stock is completely depleted before you now start to make your order. Now, in a stock records management system, there are important things we need to take note of, which include perpetual inventory. Perpetual inventory is the use of a record card for each item of stock that shows the balance in hand after each transaction. This enables us to ascertain stock at any moment in time without the expense of physical stock taking. Then we also have what we call reserved and free stock. There are times when it is necessary to reserve some items of stock for specific future production. There should also be continuous stock taking. In any perpetual inventory system, the recorded balances should agree with actual physical balances in the store. In a financial records management, we talk about bookkeeping, and bookkeeping is based on double entry principle, which has been established over the years as a result of the dual nature of business transactions. And a basic thing we talk about in bookkeeping is the ledger, and there are basically three types of ledger. You have the purchases ledger, which is also known as the creditors ledger. We have the sales ledger, which is also known as the debtors ledger, and then we have the nominal ledger. The nominal ledger is an analysis of the income and expenditure of the business and also of the assets apart from debtors, and then liabilities apart from creditors, which has already been taken care of by the purchases ledger and the sales ledger. Then we have the cash book. The cash book is a major book kept by an entrepreneur, which records all cash transactions with the enterprise on a daily basis, and it helps the entrepreneur to control the flow of cash. There are other day books called journals. Now, the day books or the journals are subsidiary books in which day-to-day records of sales and purchases are entered. The day books are totaled at the end of the month, and only the monthly total is debited to the purchase account or credited to the sale account in the ledger. Other important books of accounts are the trial balance and the final accounts. The trial balance is a way of checking the arithmetic accuracy of all entries in the ledger, be able to know whether the debit and the credit sides are correct, and you'll be able to establish a balance or otherwise. Then the final accounts, the ones we refer to as the final accounts, are the trading profit and loss account. We've mentioned that earlier on in the previous sessions. Then if it's a manufacturing concern, you can call it manufacturing trading profit and loss accounts, and then the balance sheets. Those are the final accounts. Thank you for listening. See you in the next session.